These four things I know are true. Make no mistake, Super Bowl XXXVIII was the best Super Bowl ever. I know Joe Montana and Tom Brady is, well, he's Joe Montana. The Super Bowl MVP might have been Justin Timberlake, and I'm Tony Reali. JT saved me $20 on the lingerie bowl. How about that?
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Tony Reali.
Welcome back to the show where sports will not take a backseat to a metal solar nipple medallion. We're talking Jake Delhomme's near MVP performance, Shaq's on camera cursing, and we'll get to the very bottom of the streaking incident, all with our hard-hitting national panel. And here they are. At the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, representing the LA Times, blah, blah, blah. It's Bill Plaschke.
You know, this is going to be a whole show of breast jokes. I'm out of here. I'm serious.
See you later. At the Denver Post, it's Woody Paige. Oh, Woody, hide the women and children. At the Dallas, you're muted for that. At the Dallas Morning News, it's Tim Cowlishaw.
Welcome to the big show, Steph.
If that's what the big show is, I don't want any part to do with that. Also in Houston, after attending the Super Bowl and representing the Chicago Sun-Times, it's Jay Mariotti. Hello, Jay.
Could you imagine Woody with implants?
We are the show that scores the arguments, and I get to use these cool mute buttons and joysticks, and does the fun ever start? I judge these guys on point of view, style, and information. Good answers get 2 points, great ones 3, and then I use the mute button here to penalize and direct traffic. We eliminate guys so a one-on-one showdown in the end will determine the winner. Get it? Got it? Good. Let's light this candle.
It's the first word.
And those first words are absolutely unfriggin' believable. After 24 minutes of painfully scoreless football, the Pats and Cats turned it on. Jake Delhomme and Tom Brady led two supposedly vanilla offenses back and forth like Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson, out-toughing, out-gunning, and out-cooling each other until Brady and the Pats were the conquering heroes and Delhomme and Carolina the valiant but beaten runners-up. Guys, was Super Bowl XXXVIII the greatest Super Bowl of all time? Around the horn, we go to Woody Paige.
After celebrating all night with my friends from New England, I have given this careful deliberation on the trip back to Denver, and my answer is an unqualified no. It's not even in the top 5. You only got to look at Green Bay and Denver. You've got to look at 2 Dallas-Pittsburgh games. I tell you what, the 1991 Giants-Bills game that was decided on a missed field goal at the end of the game, and you go back to number 3, that had to be the most exciting game when the Jets upset the Colts.
It's 2004. It's for the masses. The Super Bowl is for everybody. It's about an entertainment extravaganza, starting with halftime, like it or not, and then you build up to this great rush at the end. What more could anybody want? You have a drive to win a game. Vinatieri kicks the winning field goal at the end. I usually am bored to tears by the Super Bowl. Today, the whole country is buzzing about the halftime show.
True.
Tom Brady, Vinatieri, and the Patriots place in history. Wonderful Super Bowl.
Jay, you're right. It's about entertainment. The first 27 minutes of the game were the most boring Super Bowl ever.
Good point.
27 minutes without a point. 20 penalties. Bad special teams. This game was full of flaws until the last.
Bad special teams. It was won on a field goal, Bill. Take it back.
Favre and Elway. I'll take Mike Jones and Kevin Dyson. I'll take Scott Norwood in history. I'll take those Super Bowls any day over this one. It's probably 4th or 5th.
This game had compelling moments at the end. It did have a record number of penalties. Had a horrible replay call that should have been reversed and wasn't. Bad coaching decisions. You know, it had a great 4th quarter. That's it. You can't compare it to the second Pittsburgh-Dallas game for the team of the 70s.
Team of the 70s.
You can't compare it to Green Bay, Denver.
Okay, I hear where you're going with this.
I know you're a
Jay,
hardcore football guy. The Super Bowl is about more than hardcore football. It's about entertainment. It's about kids watching and women watching. And who wouldn't have a hoot watching this thing from halftime on? I mean, this is unbelievable entertainment.
Mariotti. This is not Survivors. This is about the actual game.
All right, Woody, good point. Stop right there,
Plaschke.
Plaschke.
To San Francisco and...
So, Jay, you're saying it's about kids watching and women watching, and Janet Jackson goes topless at halftime, and that's good for the game?
Okay,
you're crazy.
All I know is the whole country
I don't really care exactly. Okay, everybody can hear it. 37 points in the 4th quarter. What a finish on a kick. Oh, outstanding game. I think it was the greatest Super Bowl ever. 3 80-yard drives by the Panthers in the 4th quarter. You can't beat that. Next topic. As first reported on Around the Horn, Super Bowl XXXVIII was epic. Not only epic in its own right and in its own time, but a part of a broader look at football history. Our own Mr. Michael Holley writes in today's Boston Globe, It's now okay to place the Patriots in a historical sentence that few teams are able to utter. You can call them one of the greatest teams of all time. A team that wins 15 consecutive games has to be considered one of the finest in the history of the league. Guys, do you agree with Michael Holley? Are the Pats one of the greatest teams of all time? Around the horns of Jay Mariotti.
My friend Mr. Michael Holley is selling a book. I'm sure it'll be a great book. But come on, Michael, stop it. Too much homerism. Look, this team, in its place in time, terrific. Parity, free agency. It's hard to believe you can win 2 in 3 years. But this team against the 85 Bears, this team against the best 49ers team, the best Cowboys team, those teams would have shellacked the Patriots. They don't have a good running back. They were shaky defensively because of their injuries. And look, the Panthers almost won the game. Too many mistakes and errors.
If you're going to accuse Michael Holley of using this column to shill for a book, do it to his face. That's very weak to That's very weak to do that on this show. I'm very embarrassed for you. Furthermore, the Patriots aren't the best all-star collection. They're not the best roster, but the best team. They may be maybe the best team in history. 15 straight games. And how many Hall of Famers are on this team? Maybe 1. Maybe. 15 straight games, 8-0 against teams with winning records.
Bill, thank you very much. Bill, thank you very much for making my point and Jay's point for us. These are not great players. This is a great system, a great coaching job, some underrated players, an overachieving team, one that won 3 playoff games by a total of 13 points. Are you kidding? The 85 Bears, the 91 Redskins, Steelers in the 70s, 49ers in the 80s. This team would be a 2-touchdown underdog against
Tim, you and Jay are not getting it. Bill is the only one. He made the point. You are only as strong as your weakest link.
Absolutely.
And the New England Patriots have strength from their weakest players to their strongest players. I think you do have to put them up there with those Pittsburgh Steelers teams. You have to look back and see how many teams in history won 2 out of 3 Super Bowls.
How many teams in history, Jay?
The term team, the semantics of that can be taken too far here. This is about a system, Paige. This is about Belichick interchangeable parts.
That's what a team is.
No.
The team that
Mariotti, okay, you're still stammering. Plaschke, go.
Jay, it says a lot about you that you think the word team has semantics to it. It's just about team. It's about the whole thing. And Cowlishaw, if all these teams are so great, how come they didn't win 15 games in a row?
Answer it, Jim. Answer it.
By the time they're in the playoffs, they were killing people. The team that has a chance to be great is next year's Patriots, when all their players are back and they got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds.
Last word, Woody.
You know that this team would have beat the only undefeated team, the Miami Dolphins.
You are absolutely right. Getting to the point there. 5-0 those Dolphins were against teams with a winning record. This Patriots team, 9-0. They won 15 in a row. Hey, they were unbeatable after the middle of September. That's a great all-time team.
And they would have killed them.
Buy or sell us next.
Come on.
Coming up, B-R-A-D-Y, he don't need no alibi. He's tremendous. But is Tom Brady on a level with the original Joe Cool? Plus, Breastgate explodes on America. Genius marketing or an outrage? Opinions abound. The Horn. Buy or sell?
It's buy or sell time, so let's keep it moving. First topic. Read almost any paper in America today, and you'll find the consummation of 2 weeks of Super Bowl hype about Tom Brady. All over the place, the leading columnists in sports drew comparisons between 2-time Super Bowl MVP Brady, the youngest QB ever to win the game twice, and the equally totally cool 4-time Super Bowl winner Joe Montana. Boys, do you buy or sell the Tom Brady-Joe Montana comparison now, Plaschke?
You know, you didn't read that in the LA Times this morning. Let's see Tom Brady win 4 in 9 years. And let's see Tom Brady lead a game-winning touchdown drive in the Super Bowl. Not field goal drive, but touchdown drive.
Okay. Woody?
Oh, I think that you have to start to consider him among the great quarterbacks, but he's not in a class yet with Montana or Terry Bradshaw. If he comes back and wins another one in his career, he surpasses a lot of guys. Marino, who won none, Elway, who won 2.
Okay, moving on. You're selling. We got you. Now, Tim, do you buy or sell this one?
These guys are wrong. You have to buy this. He's 26. He's already won it twice. This is the appropriate comparison to make. This is what he's on track to do. Not a gifted passer, not a high draft pick, but a guy who just makes the plays on the field and wins games.
All right, moving on.
You know, I'm buying here. I mean, he could win again next year. He's on pace. Plus, the important pointer, he doesn't have Jerry Rice. He doesn't have Roger Craig. It's really just Tom Brady. Of course, you can make this comparison.
You got it. No quarterback won 15 games in a row in one season. Greasy didn't even do that because he was hurt for part of the year. Next topic. Not too many people saying Jake Delhomme isn't a Super Bowl caliber quarterback this morning, huh? Yeah, he started 1 for 9, but by the time he was done throwing touch pass after touch pass and leading the Panthers back with 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, his slow start was long forgotten. Buy or sell Delhomme's performance as the greatest ever by a player on the losing side of a Super Bowl, Woody?
Oh, I got to buy this. At the end of the game, I looked at the statistics, and I'm not a stats guy like you, boy. But here's the point. His quarterback rating was higher than Brady's. He also threw for 3 touchdown passes, and he did overcome the problems in the beginning. He adjusted, just as I said last week. He threw those great medium to long-range passes.
All right, Tim, go.
I think Delhomme was the MVP of this game, but I'm selling this.
Wow.
Great performance, but Thurman Thomas against the Giants had 190 yards, was completely unstoppable. Buffalo only had the ball in 19 minutes.
Well, that's not his fault, Jay.
No, I'm buying. This is about perseverance. This guy was beaten to a pulp in the first half, came back, kept his head, and played a terrific football game against Belichick's defense.
There you go.
Defense.
Very
he
good
carved
point.
it up. I'm buying.
Plaschke,
I'm selling this. I'm just so amazing. Everybody so conveniently forgets the first half. Jake Delhomme, if he had been any good in the first half, Carolina would have won this game easily. Let's go back to Thurman Thomas. Thurman Thomas, 190 yards, like Tim said, throughout the whole game. He was clearly the best player in that game. Norwood makes a kick. He's the MVP. He should have been MVP anyway.
3 80-yard drives in the fourth quarter against Bill Belichick's defense. I'm not saying that's the best by a losing player. Don't forget, a losing player has won a Super Bowl MVP before. Jake Delhomme was great. Next topic. With the Panthers having just scored a fourth quarter TD to make it 21-16, Carolina coach John Fox went for 2, and the Cats failed. Later in the fourth, up 22-21, Fox again decided to go for 2, and again didn't get it. Hindsight clearly suggests that kicking the point in both cases might have worked out better. Guys, you make a living in hindsight. Do you buy or sell Fox's decision to go for 2 late in the game? Tim?
No, you definitely sell this, and it's not hindsight. I said it. Everybody else sitting around said it's way too early to do this. Look what happened. It was 21-10. Carolina scored 3 touchdowns. New England touchdown and field goal. That should have made it 31-31.
You're right.
Kick should have tied the game, not won it.
I'm buying. I like their aggressiveness at the time. I told my colleague in the press box, I like this. We disagreed, so I'm sticking with my story there. You've got to do that, guys.
Plaschke?
No, I'm buying this too. And I don't know who you were sitting around the press box, Tim. Oh, yeah, it was Woody. That's right. No, I'm buying this. How does Fox know what's going to happen? He probably thinks if they get to 2 points, the field goal could tie it. They hadn't scored hardly at all that game. How did they know they were going to score that many points the greatest fourth quarter in history? How did they know that?
Woody?
Oh, I'm selling this, and of course Mariotti was telling all those guys in the auxiliary press box. That's why they're sitting down there. But I have told you 5 times this year, I have said during the course of games, after coaches went for 2, that was a stupid decision. And that's the reason a lot of them are coaches. They can't get real jobs. That was a stupid decision. You don't ever get that point back.
Woody, take it. Okay, 12 minutes to go in the game. They had 2 more possessions in front of them. I don't think it was a wise move to go for 2.
Of course not.
No. Right. Next topic. Time to revisit another item of unending super hype. Bill Belichick's now got 2 Lombardi trophies as a head coach, 2 more as defensive coordinator under Bill Parcells, and the Patriots look to be loaded and ready to go for 3 out of 4, right? Buy or sell Belichick now, having surpassed the greatness of his mentor, Bill Parcells. Mariotti?
Now, I'm going to sell. I think they're about even right now, but this man has laid out the blueprint for how to win in 2004. You can suffer injuries. He's a very smart man. He understands the salary cap, and I think in time he will surpass Bill Parcells. Not yet,
JJ, I'm selling this, and you're wrong, even though I agree with you, you're wrong. They're not even. They're not even close. Parcells has turned around 4 different organizations. Totally turned around. Belichick's done it to 1. Parcells been to 3 title games in the conference. Belichick's been there twice with 1 team. Not even close. It's still not even close.
Oh, I am buying this. I was approached by so many Patriots fans who made a great point. The Lawyer Malloy problem at the beginning of the year, all of the injuries, they overcame more injuries than any other team in the NFL to get where they did. And he has put a system, as we said, in place that works.
Hold on a second, Tim. Finish up.
I'm selling because the question was, has he passed him? He's pulled even with him, though. Jay's right. You know, and Bill, he turned around 2 teams. He turned around Cleveland. They went to the playoffs. Then the team moved, and they were going to move to Baltimore. When they were going to move to Baltimore, that's when the team fell apart in the 5th year.
All right. You know, they're even now with 2 wins. Parcells has been to 1 more, even though it didn't work out too well for him in the end. Just this year, though, Bill Belichick finally got over 500 as a career record. He's going to get there. He's not there yet, though. Let's see what happens over the next 5 years. Looks like we're out of time. Mr. Cowlishaw, what do you think of Aerosmith?
What do I think of this host? He scores the same way the last.
Oh, they're done. You're done. Sorry, Tim. Get out of here. Out of bounds is next. What a low blow. Oh.
Coming up, Shaq went for 36 and a win and still cussed a blue streak on live TV. Is that a problem for the NBA? Plus, Scott Norwood was vilified for missing a long one. Was that any worse than kicking off out of bounds? For the hole! It's around the horn. We're at the 2 rounds. Here's how they stand. Jay Mariotti has 38. Bill Plaschke has 39. Woody Paige has 40. And Tim Cowlishaw is already dreaming of Daytona. Right now, it's out of bounds.
Out of bounds, where it's all inbounds, and today all nude. Easy, Woody. First topic. Oh, the Jackson family. After Nelly and P. Diddy made America blush with the old hip-hop crotch grab and butt reference routine, Janet Jackson made every jaw in America drop when she allowed Justin Timberlake to unbear her right breast as the halftime show ended. Yowza! The NFL and CBS were quick to run from the incident. Timberlake called it a wardrobe malfunction. Guys, besides your animal instinct, what was your reaction to 2004's leading TiVo Moment? Jay?
Well, the NFL was punked. I mean, this is Janet getting attention. It's the oldest trick in the book. But you don't do this in front of all these people. And I thought about something Plaschke would as a moralist. I thought about kids for a minute there. But I also realized kids watch MTV. They're more accustomed to this than we think. The NFL's at a crossroads. They got to figure out what they want to do in future halftime shows.
Jabroni, you and Reverend Bill used to sneak around with Sears catalogs and National Geographic magazines.
Sears catalogs?
National Geographic.
A long time ago.
We're talking about a country that needs to catch up with the rest of the world and stop being so prudish. Cable television offers this every day.
It's not so prude.
Easy, got exactly what it wanted with this. What did it expect when it put P. Diddy and Janet Jackson up there?
Woody, why is it so prude to ask Santa Claus not to drop his drawers of the Macy's Day Parade? That's what this was. This is a family holiday on commercial TV. The NFL messed up. She messed up. And also, Mariotti, you said earlier in the show that entertainment, the Super Bowl was great because the entertainment for kids. And now you're saying it's not.
Jay, easy. The NFL messed up. This was an MTV thing. They won't be doing it anytime soon. That's the network that brought you the Madonna-Britney kiss. And remember, this league doesn't want people talking on cell phones, and they have that. Oh, forget about it.
Have you ever seen NFL cheerleaders, guys?
I have, Woody, but next topic. The part of the halftime scandal everyone missed was the streaker, disguised as a referee who ran out to midfield with a football for kickoff, then tore off his striped shirt and pants and did a jig in thong only. After about 30 seconds, Patriots linebacker Matt Chatham gave the guy the old Mike Curtis, drove him into the ground, and order was restored. Guys, you were there, you saw it. What was your reaction to Mr. Thong, Bill Plaschke?
Hey, I talked to security sources. Here's what happened. The guy had a front row ticket. He came in and watched the game at halftime when it was all dark. He took off his clothes to have a referee shirt underneath and white pants, climbed over the fence in the dark, walked onto the field looking like a referee, and then boom, had his entry. And you know, it's frightening. The NFL needs to fire somebody. I don't want these security people running the next Super Bowl because they obviously messed up big time.
I don't think it's as big an issue as you guys did. No. It was actually kind of fun. He's done it in England on several occasions, promoting a casino. And I thought the most interesting aspect of this was that CBS, I knew they weren't going to show him, but to not even talk about him. This was a big story what was going on out there. If he had been a terrorist with a gun, what would they have done? Just tried to cover it up?
I'm not sure the whole thing happening from the start. I'm thinking, how in the world does this happen? 5,400 cops in Houston, this amazing security net. We get frisked going into the stadium. You got a Continental Airlines flight canceled to Houston, and yet this idiot can go out in the field and dance an Irish jig for 40 seconds before somebody spots him. How does that happen, Tony?
Last word, Plaschke.
Yeah, Woody, you think it's funny until the guy pulls a knife out of his jock and stabs the player? That'd be real funny. I don't think it was I thought it was frightening.
Okay, Mariotti, last word?
Oh, I mean, you've got to eliminate this, and you've got to think about preventing these things from happening again, because it could be dangerous down the road.
Woody, anything to say?
Yeah, what do you go back to?
You're done. Sorry. Showdown is next.
Coming up, it was shocking the first time, amazing the second. How is it the third time around? Looks about the same to me.
Showdown time, but first, disembodied voice.
Yes, Tony.
How's your wardrobe functioning?
I'm disembodied, Tony. Not an issue. Pudge Rodriguez finally signed with the Tigers. John Gruden got a 2-year extension from the Bucs. And Punxsutawney Phil, America's groundhog, saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of talk about Janet Jackson.
Wouldn't happen any other way. First topic. With the Super Bowl XXXVIII tied at 29 after a Panthers touchdown, kicker John Kasay inexplicably booted the kickoff out of bounds and gave the Patriots the ball at their own 40 with just over a minute to go. You know what happened next? In Super Bowl history, what was the bigger gaffe? Mighty Kasay kicking it out, or Scott Norwood's missed field goal in Super Bowl XXV? 15 seconds each, Mariotti.
How easy does it get? You put the ball on a tee, you back up, you run up, you kick it down the middle of the field. Instead, Kasay kicks it out of bounds. Gift wraps the game for Tom Brady and the Patriots. To me, Norwood's always gotten a bad rap. That's a 47-yard field goal.
Jay, let me ask you.
That's more difficult.
When Kasay's kick went out of bounds, did that give 3 points to the Patriots? No, they had to drive back down the field. Norwood is the biggest goat in Super Bowl history because the kickers need to make 48-yard field goals in the NFL. That cost his team the game. That changed the legacy of the Bills. That changed lives.
You're
That's
right,
the bigger
changed
goal.
lives, cost his team the game. It was a 47-yard field goal. Plus, the Panthers still had defense. They could have stopped him.
Absolutely, thank you.
It's inexcusable. It's horrible, but
I said it was a 47-yard field.
Point to Plaschke. Next topic.
They just trying to wonder why the league is losing money. That's why. People pay good money to come watch these athletes play, and they try to take over the game.
Shaq, we're on live. I know.
Even after scoring 36 points on Sunday, evidently Shaq was not happy with the way officiating was in the Lakers' win over the Raptors. Meanwhile, LeBron James went for a career-high 38 points Sunday against the Wizards. What was the most overlooked performance this weekend? 15 seconds each. Bill, go.
As a man in L.A. with children, I think Shaquille O'Neal needs to apologize to the city of L.A. for those profanities. That aside, his was a base performance because it's the best game of the year, and it shows he's back. He's surly. He's nasty again. He's yelling about the referees again. All good for the Lakers.
Bill,
a huge thing.
This weekend was one big weekend of indecent exposure. I don't want to talk about Shaq and his foul mouth. Give him soap. Janet Jackson, the rest of it. How about appreciating
You said you like Janet Jackson.
We haven't talked about LeBron in weeks. He has a great game, and not a soul in America has it on the radar.
Not a great game against the Wizards, all right? Come on. Point to Plaschke. It's a sweep. Shaq is back, and the winner is Bill Plaschke. 15 seconds of yours. Go.
I'm going to mention one person we haven't even mentioned on the show so far, Adam Vinatieri. How come he's forgotten here? He may be the greatest pressure athlete of any sport of our era. I don't care. I want to see Tiger Woods win the Masters with a putt, 40-foot putt with everybody yelling at his face, doing it twice in 3 years. I want to see Michael Jordan do it. Vinatieri,
right,
great
Bill.
athlete.
Going to do it, folks. We're on a 23.5-hour break. See you Tuesday. Around the Horn.
I told you that last week, Bill.
Around the Horn is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For up-to-the-minute sports information, log on to ESPN.com.
Two kicks for Vinatieri. It's great.
I want to say